Hi guys, welcome to the James Bond Show. I'm your host Krazy Kajeevie with a very special edition of the James Bond Show with no fears, limits or substitutes. Now, as many of you know, I got a little something yesterday and I didn't put it together. Well, I've had to put this together because I have accepted a $1 million contract with my golden bullet, and I am going after the one, the only Barbara Broccoli. Yes, guys, this is the video you've been waiting for. Now, I'm going to obviously be discussing Lashana Lynch and her new role as 007 in the James Bond universe. But first of all, I want to do something that probably a lot of you didn't see coming and didn't think I'd be doing. What I want to do is, I sincerely, to the rest of the James Bond community out there, I want to let you guys know and understand that even though I've been very critical of a lot of your channels, and with good reason, I want to extend my hand like an olive branch, and I'm being absolutely sincere because I know that all of you, from David Zaritsky at the Bond Experience to the fellows at James Bond Radio, the guys at James Bond Canada, etc., Calvin Dyson included, and Dutch Bond Fan, even though I've always been a big fan of Dutch Bond Fan. All of you love James Bond. There's no doubt about that. You all love James Bond. But equally, as I think you can tell, and you guys have most of you have great James Bond worlds around you. David Zaritsky has one of the best James Bond collections in the world. Your content, David, is fantastic. Is really, really fantastic. Most of your content is fantastic. James Bond Radio, the passion that you guys put into your videos is incredible. My issue with these James Bond channels have been the fact that I saw what was coming. Now, maybe that's not the fault of a lot of you guys. Maybe, I don't know whether you're more positive, because I'm an incredibly positive person. But what I can't do as a human being is stand by and watch something that I absolutely love and adore be desecrated by virtue signaling politics that are kowtowing to a minority group that do not even turn up to the James Bond films, that don't understand the James Bond films, and that the James Bond films effectively were never ever made for. We are seeing the character we love absolutely destroyed and decimated. And I warned everyone here what was coming. And everything that I have pre-warned and said, and I'm no prophet, I'll leave that to the great people of the Bible, but everything I have said has come true. And I'm asking now, all of you, I know you don't want to upset this person, or you don't want to upset this person, or you don't want to be seen to rocking the boat, but I ask you all to finally stand up, because one of the reasons I'm making this video about 6-7 days late is I decided early on just to hold back and see if the other James Bond channels would do a video on the article and the story that has come out. And it's very clear that in the story that's come out, it's not only finally admitting what I told everyone was going to happen, that Lashana Lynch would be 007 in No Time to Die, but it's very clear in everything you read. And does anyone really want to doubt me again? That everything that you read, that she is now 007 in an extended universe. And my prediction, and I want to be upfront, there are going to be not only spoiler warnings or spoilers here, so this is a spoiler warning, but potential spoiler warnings. Now, I mean potential by me predicting what I believe is going to happen. And pretty much, well, everything I've said would happen, has happened, or has spilled out from the film sets that we can pretty see are happening. I'm going to give you evidence. So I said, last May, I said, even probably just prior to that, I said that Lashana Lynch will get the 007 number. I got laughed at, I got scoffed at. She got the 007 number. In July, I announced she will be 007. I got laughed at big time. 2 days later, it was announced, and Midnight Edge, which is a great YouTube channel, They're claiming that they announced it. They didn't. And I love you guys at Midnight's Edge. You didn't. I claimed it in May, and I did a video specifically claiming Lashana Lynch was going to be 007 2 days before you guys got your video out, before it went around the world, which was an obvious leak from the James Bond film set, and I believe it was Phoebe Waller-Bridge, saying that it was going to be a popcorn dropping moment as this beautiful black woman comes into M's office, as he calls, for 007. And of course it wouldn't be Bond, but it would be Lashana Lynch. Okay, so that has now been confirmed. This is where big spoilers come in. I then, through putting things together, sources leaked, etc., prior to the, I think it was a storyboard or like a day call sheet was leaked before that, I said that they will kill James Bond off, that they'd kill Bond off. That then was probably 2 months later leaked in this call sheet that James Bond was going to be killed off. Now at the end of the film, we're hit with a scene that is going to have James Bond's daughter to Madeline Swan and Madeline in a car, and they drive off under this bridge into darkness, apparently, okay, which I find absolutely believable. Now, in one of those final scenes, we've got Lashana Lynch's Nomi character rescuing both Madeline and Bond's daughter, and Bond is not around. Now, all you need to do is listen to interviews, especially with Leah Seydoux, who's probably not the brightest woman on the planet, and her announcing, oh, it's very sad, it's a very emotional ending. Well, how is it going to be a very sad, emotional ending when they're not killing the daughter, they're not killing Swan? How's it emotional, sad ending? Someone has to die for that to happen. It's not going to be Felix Leiter. He's not in those end scenes. So it was very clear and obvious it was going to be James Bond that would die. And the reason for that is Barbara Broccoli has completely and obviously gone against everything her father said to her. The key thing Cubby said to his daughter was, do not, and even Michael G. Wilson, he said this too, do not let the outside influences come in and mess this up. Barbara Broccoli has done exactly that. And none of you James Bond channels, not one of you, have touched this. So I am reaching out to you in peace for you guys to finally wake up and defend the character that I know you love. We all love Bond in different ways. But if we say nothing, we are complicit in what they're doing. And when you, David, and you, Calvin, and Dutch Bond fan, when you've got such, and kudos to you, you've got such massive followings, and they are deservedly so as well. They are. You guys do great content. I admit that. So when you've got such great following, you guys have an opportunity to use that influence to start pushing the thumbs down on Eon and let them know that this character that you love, he needs to remain the same. It doesn't matter what era we're going through in life. Have a look at the 70s. Have a look at the 70s. All the stuff with Watergate, was it put in the James Bond films? No. Was the Vietnam War put in the James Bond films? No. All the crazy stuff in the 80s, was it put, except for bad clothing, was it put into the Bond films? Reagan being shot, etc.? No. We don't need to put every era. We don't need Black Lives Matter. We didn't have the Iraq War in 2003, in the early 2000s. We didn't have that in the Bond films. We don't need all the political stuff, because what people go to James Bond films for is two key reasons. A, they're big Ian Fleming, James Bond fans from the books. And B, they're James Bond film fans. Some are both, some are just the one. Okay? These people pay their money, and you want to go in like me to see a James Bond film for 2 hours of escapist fun about this great spy. Sean Connery just died. He would be shocked and aghast, and maybe it's a good thing that he passed away before seeing what they're going to do with No Time to Die and the James Bond character. His Connery in Dr. No was macho, chauvinistic, tough, smooth. In Goldfinger, he slaps Dink on the backside, tells her to go away, man talk. In Thunderball, he pushes his sexuality onto the character played by Molly Peters, pushes onto her. He's macho and tough through all these films. Roger Moore was borderline, big sexual pervert by the feminists today would consider him to be. But it was all done in fun, entertainment, and the roots of it all was Ian Fleming and the Ian Fleming novels, which spawned it all. And Barbara Broccoli is now going to absolutely destroy that, because mark my words, these articles now, and if you have a look at the timing, just as the election was all happening and crazy results were going on, they pushed it out about the Harper's Bazaar article with Lashana Lynch being confirmed as 007. Look at the timing. Do you guys honestly think that that was an accident? It wasn't. They are going, and one of my prediction I pushed everywhere, and one day I will edit together all the bits of me talking about it, and I'm going to put up the comments of people that laughed at me, mocked me, and I'm going to have those comments flashing across the screen, and you're going to see what I predicted and what's happening now. They are absolutely not going to remove this universe. Barbara Broccoli is keeping this universe here to hijack the character we love, the film franchise of nearly 60 years that we love, and she's doing it by stealth. Of course, Lynch or any female actress can never be James Bond. The only way they can be James Bond, of course, is it's a female, it's Jane Bond, and then Jane Bond has the exact same story. Her parents were killed in a rock climbing accident. She was kind of recruited by MI6, etc., etc. They would have to just put all that into a female form. So when Barbara Broccoli says, of course, James Bond always has to be male, yeah, but that doesn't stop what she's doing. So she's given a female agent the 007 name and his whole universe, and he will be killed at the end of that film. So by keeping this universe, she thinks, and MGM thinks, these people who are so sneaky, they think by hijacking Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, Spectre, No Time to Die, all those, the audiences, all the money you put in, all the attention and love you've put in to this era from 2006, you're not leaving it, even if they push Bond out the way, because this is a continuing story. So this is done by shocking stealth, okay? Really think about that, guys. Even replay this video, share this video with all your friends, and please like and subscribe too, right? Whether you agree with all my views or not, this is clearly happening, and all of us James Bond fans need to listen to this and see this. Now, I'm going to read you part of this article. So, this is by quoting here Lashana Lynch. I am one black woman. If it were another black woman cast in the role, it would have been the same conversation. She would have got the same attacks, same abuse, she said. Now, with that point, I actually agree with Lashana Lynch. She would. A black woman would get... But what Lashana Lynch has got to look at, it's not we're attacking her, okay? If I say, for example, myself and other people say, well, she's not good looking, she looks transgender, that doesn't mean we're being mean. Black women to me are gorgeous, but I don't personally, and as I've seen so many, like I'm talking thousands of comments of white heterosexual males, black heterosexual males, males of any nationality say, she's not attractive, she's not good looking. They've physically made her, she looks a lot better with hair, and they've made her look like this tough, butch type. So when there's comments there that she looks a bit transgenderish, which is, in simple, a man dressed as a woman, that's what she does, because she doesn't look feminine. They have gone out of their way to not make her look feminine. And I believe she's the Lee Harvey Oswald of the JFK murders. She's a patsy in this. They're using her to push this, but she's getting paid. Let's keep going with this here. I just have to remind myself that the conversation is happening and that I'm part of something that will be very, very revolutionary. Lashana, you're not going to be part of anything revolutionary other than destroying a near 60-year film franchise that so many fans love and adore. And Barbara Broccoli, you are literally shitting on us. You are shitting on us and you are destroying what we love in the name of political correctness for people that do not even pay to go and see the film franchise you're producing. If you can't honour Ian Fleming's James Bond, sexist, misogynist dinosaur, if you can't honour that, the fun quips, the action, the sexism, whatever, if you can't honour that the way Cubby did and Harry Saltzman did for all those years, then you need to go. You need to sell the franchise. Now, people change. So if your feelings are not the same as when you were younger and working on the Bond films and they're not the same as your father, that's fine, okay? No judgment. But hand the franchise over to people that will honour the James Bond lore. And have a look at what the producers have done with the fantastic karate series Cobra Kai, which is an extension of the Karate Kid films from the 80s. Have a look at that. They honoured the characters, and that's why now Cobra Kai is going into season 3 and everyone loves it, no matter what age, nationality, race, gender, everyone's loving it. But Cobra Kai keeps to what it is and to what the Karate Kid was. You need to honour your fans and not change for political reasons or your own personal opinion on things. You can't rape a character. It's not fair to the fans. To the David Zaritsky's, who have spent thousands of dollars on collector pieces, to myself, to the guys at James Bond Radio. I actually feel for all you guys because I know inside you agree with me. You now need to take a stand and say, no, this is not what Fleming created. You can do it more subtle than me, that's fine, but you need to do it. For the role of Naomi, Lynch told Harper's Bazaar UK that she had some fears about being cast aside behind the man in the film, but after speaking with director Kerry Fukunaga and producer Barbara Broccoli and writer Waller Bridge, and as you can see here, guys, Michael G. Wilson has been put out of this conversation. The male writers put out of this conversation, so it's all about the females here, and this is what they've done. I'm just reporting what's here. Lynch realised that her ideas for the film and for the role lined up with theirs. Wanting to portray a character with a fresh female perspective who was subtly drawn, believable, perhaps even a little awkward. As the outlet states, Lynch agreed that Naomi would be able to contribute all that. And that's fair enough. She wants a real, genuine character. I get that. But does that fit within the James Bond world? Does it really? Should James Bond be hijacked in his own film franchise of nearly 60 years to push a different minority perspective? I say no. And all of you Bond fans would clearly say no. If you've got a bike and you see a bunch of kids down the streets and they've got kites and they're flying kites, you can't take your bike over to them, tie a string around it and chuck it in the air and expect it to become a kite. It's not. It's a bike. Look at things for what they are and accept them for what they are. A character that is too slick, a cast iron figure, that's completely against what I stand for, Lynch noted. I didn't want to waste an opportunity when it came to what Naomi might represent. She added, I searched for at least one moment in the script where black audience members would nod their heads, tutting at the reality, but glad to see their real life represented. Now, your real life is not going and doesn't need to be represented in a James Bond film, Lashana Lynch. It's not the vehicle for it. It really isn't. And for you to come in and hijack that and expect that, it's wrong. You know, again, nothing against you, but it's wrong. This is about James Bond, a man that has to kill in cold blood and be ruthless and even, yes, use women, use men, women, whatever. in any way he needs to get the job done for king and country. Please go and read the James Bond Ian Fleming novels to understand the world you're really in, not just the films that you said you grew up on. That's basically all I'm going to read there, guys. Now, I could have got out the article from Harper's Bazaar. I read it a few hours ago. And it's even worse, but the way it gets worse is the writers of these articles, they push the agenda. And they actually, the writer of the Harper's Bazaar the article, she even backhanded the James Bond franchise by saying that we were teased that she was going to be the new James Bond, but now we know she's only the new 007. I mean, do these people listen to themselves? How could she possibly, unless she has a sex change or Daniel Craig's James Bond never existed, how could she be the new James Bond? What is wrong with these people? So, guys, under Barbara Broccoli has systematically destroyed this franchise. She had no vision. We went from Casino Royale, a stunning film, into Quantum of Solace that actually made no sense. Then suddenly we're in Skyfall that makes further no sense because it's literally the second film, if you think about Quantum and Casino being one continuation story, which they were. Then suddenly, under Barbara Broccoli, we're in a film where now James Bond's old. He's too old. He's being put down and too old for the job. By Spectre, they're treating him like an old invalid man. And if you have a look at him in Tomorrow Never Dies, and sorry, David Zaritzi, you're not going to like me saying this, but you look at him, whether it's a Massimo suit or whatever, he's literally dressed like an old senile man. He's got the braces, etc. He doesn't look cool. He doesn't look suave. He doesn't have a gun. There's no classic martini poses. There's no classic gun poses. The tropes that we love with James Bond are gone. So you guys all have to ask yourself a question. Do you really, really want to pay money to go and see this film? I've been Krazy Kajeevie for the James Bond Show. I'll see you guys next time. I really want you to think about this. And please, guys, think about it so hard. Do you really want to pay money to people, a franchise that is destroying what you love? Because I promise you, after No Time to Die, especially when they've admitted Daniel Craig is gone, there's going to be no more. Till next time, guys, keep on bonding and say hi to your mum for me. And remember, it's all about James Bond, not politics.